L'Equipe leading with this headline. Meanwhile, a Classico pour Neymar, a Neymar Classico. Which team needs Neymar more? The translation from the Spanish newspaper AS. Sid, you may have been away for a while, but we're still talking about Neymar, even more so. Let's divide the Classico division into two. Start with Barcelona and what your sense of his potential move to the Nou Camp currently is.
Well, in a way, this is what's changed from what we've been saying from the very, very start of the summer, of course, is that bits of information have come out, which, of course, once things are known, it changes the way that things will play out. And the very fact that Leonardo has said that Neymar is basically going to go, that I think is, I mean, and Jules talking there about the fans being annoyed about him talking about the 6-1 victory, I think that would have been forgivable if they didn't have that sense as well, that since then things have moved on to the point where Neymar has told Leonardo that he wants to go, where Leonardo is basically saying publicly, which, by the way, forces the price down, or at least forces your hand a little bit, and said, look, we need to resolve this, and he will probably leave. Thomas Tuchel has been kind of careful, but has effectively let that out as well. And so I think what's changed now is a willingness to try and get this done. Now, I think one of the things that happens, not just in Neymar's case, but in all cases in transfer windows, is because you've got a couple of months, you tend to spend the first 6 weeks putting things into place or waiting to see how things develop, and then there's a rush on it. And so I think we are now in that period where we're starting to get a movement on this. Of course, we've seen the fact that Barcelona have been in Paris today, talking to Paris Saint-Germain, that they see this as a, if you like, as a kind of a first step towards this signing. But of course, it's a first step after all those other steps that weren't actually publicly taken, you know, after all those moments of waiting, of little hidden messages, of discussions behind the scenes. This is the first step of something that can properly be called a negotiation, which is no guarantee that it happens. And the truth is that Barcelona can't really afford this and don't really have a natural place for Neymar in the side, but they're drawn into this. And why are they drawn into this? Partly they're drawn into this because, well, it's Neymar and it's exciting and we want to do it. And we've got a president in particular, not a sporting directorate, a president who wants to make this happen. And then the other thing, and I think this is a key thing, we saw it there on the front cover of L'Equipe, Real Madrid have been drawn into it. And I suspect, but I can't stand this up at this point, that Neymar has tried to draw Real Madrid into this in essence, really, for one fundamental reason, to get Barcelona to move. Because it's bad enough from Barcelona's point of view to think we didn't get Neymar. But if they think we didn't get Neymar and Real Madrid did, that's a reason to go and get him.
What's your sense of this? Where would he be better right now?
Oh, Barcelona.
You would?
Yeah.
Hands down on
well, they're a side more advanced. So I think Barcelona. I mean, Sid's right. I mean,
and how does he
fitting all the pieces of the puzzle with his signings?
Well, how does he fit in at Barcelona?
Well, you know, good players will fit in anywhere. You'll have.
Right.
I mean, they'd have to rotate unless they sold anybody else before the window closes. But certainly Barcelona are a more stable side at the moment. There's not a doubt about that. And look, he has to make a move happen because for all the reasons Sid talked about, for the graphic that was up there with the ultras at PSG, he's just got to get this move done. And I've said this all along. And for goodness sake, get his playing career back on track to what we know it is. That's one of the best players in the world. And forget the circus. That's what he needs to do.
But in that starting lineup, potentially on Friday against London, where would he fit in? I mean, who do you sit out of Griezmann, Messi, Suarez? You can't sit any of them. You do?
Yeah, you go 4-2, Messi in the hole and 3 up top. You go Neymar, Suarez, Griezmann. It's dynamite. Look, I totally agree with what Craig...
Is anyone going to defend in that team?
Well, it's up to the coach to sort that out. I mean, look, in essence, they're going to play two central defenders and everybody else is going to play 4-4. They're going to be bombing forward. But the fact about these players is that they always have passing options. They put the right ball to the right foot, so they are able to keep possession of the ball. The one thing the coach has got to be cautious about is that when they do lose possession, are they in good position? Is De Jong and is Busquets, are they going to, organise the side? Because that's what's going to have to happen.
Can they play that much firepower?
Yeah, I think they can. But it's asking Barcelona, and in particular their wing-backs, Semedo and Alba, according to that last graphic, to do something that they've not really been asked to do over the last couple of years, which is sit back and just defend. Don't worry about getting forward. Leave that to the front four. Good players do find a way to make things work, and especially you add Busquets and his passing range and De Jong coming in and the ground he covers. I think somehow Barcelona makes that work.
I played in a Celtic team at a period under John Barnes when we tried to fit all these playmakers in, and I can tell you now, obviously these are quality players. But we tried to fit Ajo Berkovic and Lubomir Moravcik, who was a fantastic player. We tried to fit these guys in the team, and what we found when we went out with Scotland and played in the European competition, it was just too difficult. And I think there is going to be some sense here, if it happens, about getting the balance right, because when they do play the better teams in Spain, and there are many of them, and when they do play in European competition, some of these guys might have to sit on the bench.
Yeah,